Mason here, Cardinal Gaming. Oh, you already know. The shades are on, you already know what we're talking about. We're going back to the zoo, guys. Back to the zoo. But you know what? I'm going to take these off. This is going to be a serious video. Because Metazoo is really stepping up the game. It's getting real. They are really put some effort into the TCG, and I appreciate it, and it shows. Let me explain. It all started off when I started feeling really good. It was when they brought on a new investor, a new board of director. His name is, let me get it right, Craig Takaguchi. And it was kind of just rolled out. It has a very basic image on the Discord. I'm looking at it here. He looks like a good guy. He's an investor and a board director. The best part, the most interesting part, the part that matters, is his background. The guy is worked under the parent company that owns Hello Kitty. If you guys don't know, right underneath Pokemon, the next biggest brand, the biggest IP in the world, after Pokemon, is Hello Kitty. Well, isn't this convenient? How you're building a TCG up and trying to build a brand, build a company, build an IP that is, supposed to be rivaling these other TCGs and these other lore-based stuff. And you pull in the guy that worked with the higher up and the folks that made a deal with Hello Kitty. That's a big deal. But again, it's kind of pretty quiet. It's got like a nice little snippet here. Very quiet, and he's talked about where he's also done management at Sony, and he worked for Pepsi and a little bit on the Walt Disney Company. All a huge, awesome pedigree of just adding so much more validity to Metazoo. And again, just a dry, paragraph statement, but this intrigues me. This is the kind of stuff that, as a business owner, I want to see. Yeah, it's boring to everybody else, but I think it's awesome because this guy is going to bring in experience and expertise and tried and true methods of pushing Metazoo to the next level, up to where Mike has always wanted it to be. But he's just one man. He has to have a team behind him, and he's done great this far as marketing the game. Obviously, if you get into Walmart and Targets and other big boxes, like, you're doing plenty of good PR stuff. But yeah, Craig here is gonna just push things over the moon for Metazoo, and I think it's really awesome. And again, not pretty quiet story, but his experience says it all, and that it's going to be very, very good for Metazoo. So it's cool and awesome to see. And then the next thing with Metazoo, I wanted to get this all out here before it gets too much old, because people are already talking about it, making all kinds of videos. I scroll down a little bit more to the announcements here. We're talking reserve list. Very cool. We all talked about it eventually coming. We talked about what it could be, what it could all be entailed, if it's going to happen, whether or not. I think Mike has alluded to it a little bit, that it was going to happen. And yeah, a reserve list came out. And reserve lists are very interesting. They could be seen as very anti player and pro collector, because a lot of the time stuff that is pushed into reserve lists are either things that are already pretty valuable and scarce, and that kind of encapsulates and makes sure that the investing part of the market stays nice and safe. They don't have to worry about that ever getting reprinted and blowing out all their product and the price for the product. So that's good. But a lot of these cards on here, very good cards. Things like the Chaos Crystal is a big one. Mothman, the big Mothman itself, out of Krypton Nation, won't be seen ever again. It says it will be reprinted in a promo down the road, but that's it after this. Another, obviously very useful cards, but I think as we grow and expand down the road, they're going to see, cards either take this place or, maybe not be quite as good, but still, do the same kind of, like 80% of the card effect to make it, a little more balanced if something was way overpowered. And that's what reserve lists do. It does two things. It locks in the value of things that are very super scarce and rare, and kind of is kind of like a pinky promise from the business saying, look, if you invest in this card because it's rare, we promise not to reprint it. Pinky promise. So you can feel good about that investment. You don't have to worry about us ever reprinting that card again. So that obviously bolsters your collector base and kind of cements that kind of stuff in position where it is. And then again, you can bump something to the reserve list that is overpowered or too powerful in the game state, and then re-release something down the road that does something almost as good, just barely a little less, or the same kind of mechanic but in a different way, or affects something differently, to where it's not as overbearing in the whole gameplay aspect. So you think of the reserve list that everybody always talks about is the Magic reserve list. We have the Power 9 on there, and all those are super powerful cards. At the time, that was just how the game was played. Nobody really knew that they were, super, super broken. And again, the same thing starting out here. You come up with cards, and you kind of play test it, and then you put it out, and then you kind of, as you go to flesh out the rest of the game, the rest of how certain things work, you really focus down on the play style and the play mechanics of what is fun and what's not, and what is the identity of something versus something that's just like, wow, people just played that because it was really good. There's really nothing else to it. It's just super, super strong. So again, you kind of push those things to the reserve list so you don't have to worry about, people don't have to worry about them ever coming back again or being reprinted. And I think this is the route they're probably going to take from here on out. If something does come out and it's super powerful, they're just going to be like, whoops, well, we're going to push that to reserve list, and then we're going to not print that ever again. So that can be good and bad. And they said that they're going to do this twice a year? Or yearly, maybe? I don't remember when they said. But anyways, it's all good. All the promos and everything are locked in, being as, on reserve list. Not all promos, but things that came in like special releases, and I think they said the theme deck. No, not the theme deck ones. Release medals, spellbook promos, playtester cards, Patreon medals, comic promos, all those things. So all those promos that come in a special product or were like a limited release kind of thing are going to stay that way, and that's good. It's good to see. So two big steps from Metazoo that kind of put them ever so closer to looking like a TCG, looking like they have a plan and know what they're doing, and are really focusing and taking this part of the Metazoo world, the IP brand of Metazoo, seriously. And that's what I want to see. I want to see this kind of stuff that says we are putting people dedication and time and actually thinking about what we're making this game, instead of just pumping out themed stuff and seeing what works, and if it plays, it plays. If not, so this is promising. This is good, and it also cements people that are maybe worried about buying into something and then it going to zero because it gets reprinted or whatever. That we're here now. We're going to see that kind of stuff get propped up, and stuff that is even reserved lists, like the Chaos Crystals are in theme decks and things like that. That's going to help the theme decks also keep value as well. So it's not only the single cards themselves that retain the value. It's then stuff in Cryptid Nation and stuff like that are limited in these promos that come in as special items and the spellbook promos and things like that. Those are going to inflate and prop up all that sealed product as well. So it's not all just goes to zero when it comes out, if there is rotation or if, the power creep gets something and it gets super just irrelevant, the one thing that made that product special goes away and isn't special anymore, and then the steel product just kind of does nothing. So that's the kind of stuff that reserve lists also help with. So, all right, Metazoo, I see you. I'm gonna pay attention. I still got my rose tinted glasses on, but I'm still watching. You have my beady little red reflective eyes on you. Appreciate you guys watching. Thanks so much. I will see you guys in the next one. Probably the next thing is Card Shop Candid that is actually buffering right now, so we'll get that in a second. All right, guys. Have a good day.